this. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to rumble?
Go.
Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Big Bill coming to you live from the greatest city in the world and the #1 model wrestling show in the world as well. The greatest city in the world would be Staten Island, New York. Right here, cold and windy tonight. It's 2019, and I know you guys were expecting a guest, but the guest canceled on us because we were going to have what was that? The space station. One of the astronauts was put the DCC decoder in and tested against zero gravity effect of how it worked. But because they're on the far side of the Earth, the signal can't. Even though we do travel all the way to Australia, the signal, and we're live right now because Andrew Gilmore is here. And but unfortunately, they're in a space station on the other side. So we had to cancel. NASA called John up early this afternoon and expressed his apologies that the astronaut had everything done. He was going to do it at N scale and do the DCC decoder replacement and show us how he does it in zero gravity, which I think would have been pretty cool because then we would have seen the diesel floating in tubes and that way. So I apologize profusely to you guys out there that were hoping to see that. It would have been a step forward for us and a giant leap for mankind, obviously, in regards to performing something like that. But again, it just didn't work out. So I do profusely apologize.
Bill?
Yeah.
Did you take your medication this morning?
Why, yes, I did, John. Why would you ask such a thing? Of course I did. I take my medication every morning. But anyway, we were supposed to have, we were going to have Barry Roger and Mike on. And those guys are now doing the Amherst show up in Amherst. And they were going to come on. They're going to come on. They're just going to come on later. They both have work-related things they're doing on their real jobs, so they couldn't make it. But they're going to come and they're going to talk about the upcoming Amherst show that's going to take place in January up in Amherst, Massachusetts, Springfield, Massachusetts. I think it's January 25th, 26th, and 27th. I'm not too sure. Let me check that for you guys.
18.
Yes, sir. No, it's at the end. Oh, yeah, no, it's the 24th, 25th, and 26th. So if you guys are thinking about heading up there, by all means, please do. Barry and Mike Dettinger, what they do is they hold a clinic like on Thursday, Friday into Saturday. Thursday, Friday, and it costs, I think, don't quote me on this, you have to look it up. I think it costs $100, $99, $100 to do their clinics, which is an all-day clinic. You get your lunch, you get breakfast, you get lunch, and you get a ticket to enter Amherst
Show.
Yeah. It's a show for Saturday and Sunday. For $100, that's not a bad deal, So we'll have more information as it comes to us, and Barry and Mike are going to be on sometime after the 11th of December. Next, on December 11th, we're going to have Joe Desmond. His wife is on the verge of having this baby. So this most likely will be the last show that Joe will do. And, but he's going to be here December 11th. And we'll have that show for you. And then hopefully on the 18th, we're going to do the show with Who's Big Bill Talking To with Barry, Roger, and Mike Dettinger. And hopefully, maybe we can get Miles in. Because Miles is still part of the Amherst show. He does a free clinic on Saturday at the Amherst show. So we'll see if we can get Miles in and see what's going on with that and what he's up to and anything new and exciting going on in in the world of model railroading. What was? Let me just say hello to you guys out there. I don't want to miss any of our fans. David BNSF N Scale. Hello, Brian W. Dale PRR guy bass. Dwight of Northern Star Railroad Lines. Hello. Let's see, the Crooked River in Easton. Andrew Gilmore. Hello. Adrian Godston. Hello. Let's see, who else is out there? Andrew Crawford is out there. And let's see, who else? Anybody? You, Brian Braid Anderson, Bradley, Braid, the Crooked, Gilmore, Dwight, Dave. Gilmore said, you're walking up after a minor operation. I hope you're well. Dwight, I got my 50 years in Scout. Andrew Gilmore, congratulations. Andrew does scouting in Australia, and he's going to have 50 years in scouting next month. Well, congratulations to you, Andrew. Congratulations to you. That's not a small feat, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Good for you, buddy. So,
I think Dwight's learning how to spell in Australian.
oh, okay. Yes. Well, he was excited, and he wanted to. He did it. He wanted to make sure that he got it.
Yeah. Well, I hadn't picked on Dwight in a little while, so I couldn't refuse that one.
Yeah.
I'll hear about it. That's for sure.
Anyway, what we wanted, I informed John the other day that our change in schedule, and what we wanted to do is we wanted to. We'll touch on things of model railroading, but one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to be that model railroading show that was going to do like every other model railroading show, and we were going to jump on the bandwagon. And Dwight says Johnny took his wrong,
Yeah.
and but what we wanted to do, excuse me, gentlemen. Oh, that's the end of the third quarter. Anyway, what we wanted to do was like every other model railroading live show that has tackled this, we want to talk about copper. Oh, the thin copper that YouTube came out with. In the beginning, when it first came out, I raised my hand. I got extremely nervous. Okay, now, all those who are not familiar with this copper thing, it's back in '98, Federal Trade Commission put a law out that nobody could do a video under 12 years old or have an account 12 years old. It's gathering information. It's gathering data off 13 and younger. That's what this is. It has nothing to do with adult content. It's nothing to do with it being X-rated. It has everything to do with gathering information and taking that information and using it to target the youth 13 and under. Fine. YouTube got caught. They got fined $1.7 million, which is a drop in a bucket to a $14 billion business. It's a milk money for them. So, and then they turned around and they threw it on the content creator, which is us, and said, this is what's going to happen. And it's and there from there it ensued total confusion. People dumping. I'm watching the guys from England. They're saying I'm not going to do YouTube because it's worldwide. If you live in Australia, England, in the far reaches of Saudi Arabia, where if you produce content and it goes through, you're going to get tagged. One way, whatever. That's how they proposed. They said you're going to get tagged. You're going to do this. So mass. I'm not going to say mass hysteria, but when it came out, everybody got like, what's going on? So after we kind of took the wait and see attitude. We didn't do anything. We didn't say anything. Here, all right, we didn't do anything. We just said, let's see what happens. Because it's like everything else. It's let it play itself out. Let's get more information. Let's get, let's find out what's going on. And after a while, and when the dust started to settle, yes, they said any content that's produced for a child that goes 13 and under, such for like these trains, right here. Now, me and on the bottom of the box, it says 14 years and older. all right? But you get a computer, an artificial intelligence computer that FTC says they have that they can scour 26 million or plus more videos. The computer doesn't know that this is not a toy. To the computer, this is a toy. If it quacks like a duck, it walks like a duck, it's a duck. So they think this is a toy. We know as modelers that it's not. We know that 13 and under, it's not for children. Do they see this? Do they say they're fascinated? Yes. Do they hold their attention? Perhaps it does. Who knows? But upon more and more, it turns out that it's about ad revenue. And those that have ads and do ads and monetize, it seems to be the general consensus, of YouTube believes we're collecting data. Joe G says the same thing. He says, and you're just collecting data on people in the Phoenix area. We're not collecting data. I don't think any of us have the capability of collecting data. So with that said, we're going to continue doing what we do at Model Railroading Live. As you saw, we put the disclaimer up, you're 18 years old. It's just a safeguard. Now, everybody's afraid that if they come after you, you're going to get fined $42,580 per video. Well, the research we've done and the things and we've seen these videos by the social media lawyers out there. There are a few that were being bounced around, stuff like that. It's not saying that it can happen. It's that it cannot happen. Let's rephrase that. I don't want to speak like I'm from the street. That it cannot happen. It can. It very well can happen. It can happen to us. We can get the thing, but it's not going to be a federal suit. It's going to be a civil suit within our county here in Staten Island, New York. If they came after it, it would be held in, Kings County or Richmond County, in one of the 5 boroughs. So, right. Adrian Gatson says if the computer knew how much this stuff costs, they would know that these are not toys. You're absolutely correct, and Adrian, you're correct. I agree with you, and everything about it is it's vague from YouTube point of view. It's very vague. It's they're laying the response and burden on us when they should be doing it. They don't want to do it, so they're laying it on the content creator. Who I think it affects is those Lego guys, the Disney World guys, and I know there's one guy I follow. He does adult action figures, meaning adult action figures, meaning they're the Batman and the Thor, but they're $350, $400. I watch that guy occasionally and stuff like that. So what we here at Model Railroading Live and my personal channel, South Brooklyn Railroad, is we're staying on. I'm off our thing, adult content only. And we're basically going to keep it that way, and we'll have the disclaimer in front of the videos and stuff like that. And let's see, if you can put it highly unlikely unless you're in New York, I don't know. Once again, I read that. Somebody who's in law enforcement told me that this is how, if they were going to sue in this, say like in New York City, 8 million people, 8.2 million people live in 5 boroughs where I live. If they go out and they catch 1 million people, do you really think they're going to prosecute? They're going to do civil court? They're going to clog the court system up. So something's going to shake on this. Something's going to come down the line and shake on this. Because if they take 2,000 people out of the New York area and say we're suing you in civil court and this is it, I'm opting for a jury trial. I'm not taking the plea to do the lesser fine. Okay, per video. I'm not doing it. So I want a jury trial. Yeah, it's paid for me. I got to get a lawyer. I got to do this. It's going to cost us money. I got that. It costs me money. I know that. But it's when you think in the scheme of things, 26 plus million videos out there, they're just concerned that YouTube has put it on the creator content provider that we're collecting data. We don't monetize here at Model Railroad Live. There's no advertisement. There's no, we don't do Patreon. We don't solicit money. We don't do any of that here. So we don't monetize. So we're not losing anything. We're not gaining anything. We're just providing content. Whether it's for children or not, no. I would suggest what I did on my channel was I put TubeBuddy. I downloaded TubeBuddy. It's free. And what it did was it went through my videos. Once I downloaded it free and I asked it to analyze my video, it came back with the ratio of who watches my video. And over 60%, they broke it down, 60%, 50, over 50 were watching my videos and stuff like that. So, the bottom line is it's a great law. I'm not putting it to keep the content the way, targeting young kids, and the parents got to watch their kids. Some parents, they filled out the application, said they were them, and they gave their kid the the YouTube channel, and kids were making their own videos and doing whatever they're going to do. Obviously, I mean, I know, and my little Gracie, she's 8 years old, and I sometimes watch what she's got YouTube on, and she's watching this whole thing, and I'm like, what are you doing? You shouldn't be watching that. It's like the cartoons and everything, and stuff like that. So, it's crazy. And they knew what they were doing, YouTube. They knew it. And they got away with it from 98 up until September of this year. And they got caught. They got slammed. So now they're putting it on us. But we're going to continue moving forward in MRL, Model Railroading Live, and we're going to continue to produce content. We're going to continue to put it out there. And we are adult only. And, again, we're just going to ride it out, because as it comes more, YouTube's got to work something out, because if they don't, they're going to lose all their. We'll find. I since this went down, I've seen this other channel called Unauthorized TV. It's a new platform that opened up, that people who were on YouTube, who have demonetized, who got taken out, whether it was due for the content, political reasons, or whatever it was. This new channel called Unauthorized TV, and now they're they're working over there. So, they're going to lose content. For a company that wants to make money, they certainly are in the habit of losing money, and they think that $14 billion a year is going to sustain them. How quickly and how wrong they will be if we, content providers, go someplace else. You ain't the only game in town, YouTube, so we pick up and we go. And, I like being on YouTube. I enjoy it. I enjoy doing this content. I enjoy sharing this with the model railroading community. And we're going to be doing it for quite a while until we say we no longer want to do it. And they put me in the ground back there in the cemetery. So, and I think even after I go, it will still continue on. So that's what we're Model Railroading Live and stuff like that. Let me go back to our Q&A here and see, since I started.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to answer Eric's comment. I don't think they'd take me right now, because I hadn't shaved all week to be on the Gerber bottle, says the new baby.
No, I think you could. I think Eric was right on that. I think you could be the Gerber baby. Yeah, Dave BNSN, as I don't know about you, but I'm not collecting data on anyone, much less kids. And we, as well, are not doing it.
No.
Right. I can see the computer learning. Okay, yeah, there it is. Andrew Crawford says the current state of artificial intelligence can't determine opinions about children-focused material. Determine opinions about children, or otherwise they would require human review, which would be difficult, but not impossible. And I agree. On one of the, someone explained to me that the computer that the director of FTC was talking about, how they have the capability of looking at every video and thing. The artificial intelligence can teach the computer to go into a room, but it slams into the wall like 1,000 times before it finds its way out of the wall, and then it's got to relearn to get out of the next room, and continuously, but once it learns, it learns. So those parameters have to be put in place, who's ever doing the computering. But I absolutely agree. Wait till you see the paperwork Andrew Gilmore says we have to do when working with scouts under 16 years old. I know exactly what you're saying. As a former baseball youth coach, whenever we worked with children 12 and under, it was the same thing. So, you have to get if we want to send in a photo form, the Scouts magazine, we have to get a signed form from the parents for each photo. Absolutely agree. Let's see, Dwight Norman. So yes, Andrew, you and I have a lot of training and trained in other such as, and there are too lazy to invest. And Adrian Gadsden says they are too lazy to invest into what's for children and adults. Took the easy way out and dumped it on the creators. Once again, you're absolutely correct in that. I agree with you.
Yeah. Real quick, we'll say hi to Mark Turner.
Mark's back. I had a very long conversation with Mark Turner the other day, a couple of days after Mark and I were on the phone for close to 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a lot to discuss. We're gonna have Mark on in the future, and stuff. Also, let me see what else. I had to get. I'm trying to think. And however, my opinion on CAPA is different than most. The law does have some vague and potentially nefarious verbiage. However, if you look at the motives of CAPA regulation and of YouTube, that motivation can inform your opinion about how this may be enacted. Also, if there was actually going to affect us at YouTube the way that many have stated they think it would, then YouTube would just shut down, as it would be a death knell for all of us. Yes. Bill, we can go anywhere and everywhere whenever we need to go, whenever the people are or where they want us. We have the technology to go wherever we need to. Yes, we do. Eric Hall, IMRRO.com says Steve said he did not see too many dead people outside your window. No, they were there. Yeah, we weren't really looking, but yeah, they're there. You can't see them now because it's dark out. Mark Turner is, hey, hadn't seen y'all in a long time. Hey, y'all, hope is all well. Sorry about that characterization, Mark. Right of me in some circles in this country that would be considered racist, and I do apologize if I offended anybody out there. Not really. I don't. But I'm just saying that for the video. But Joe G says my kids watch YouTube and are under 13, but my wife and I monitor and tell them what they can and can't watch. Adrian Gadsden says if it shuts down, we will just go to another platform that starts up and continue on. Companies go out business daily.
Yeah, Stunhanger. Hang around, Stunhanger, because it's not like what you think it is. Because what you're doing is not kid-friendly anyway, just like us. So I wouldn't be moving my stuff right now. Just hang in there.
Crooked River and Eastern Railroad says, how can we see the age of people in the chat or on the comments? Well, you can go to your analytics and you can look at that, which I did for my channel, South Brooklyn Railroad, and I saw that it said age, but they said there wasn't enough information for the demographics, for the genders who watched, and for the demographics of the ages. There wasn't enough information. Oh, sorry about that. There wasn't enough information to that they could gather. But I loaded down this thing called TubeBuddy, T-U-B-E, Buddy, and it's free of charge. I got it from one of the content guys, that Nick Simone or something, that promotes how to make your YouTube channel more viable, stuff like that. I put it down and it did an analyzation of my YouTube videos and said no children watched it. So that was one of the things.
Yeah. Dwight, he said, well, we weren't supposed to smoke in junior high school, but we did in spite of our parents and teachers. Yeah. So,
right.
Yeah.
Andrew Crawford says, nah, Bill, you can yaw all you want. You can be an honorary Southerner. Well, I speak for you. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. But the fact of the matter is that it's South Brooklyn Railroad. So technically, right? South Brooklyn. It says here, let's see. Eric Hall says, we have the technology, we have the capability to build the world's second tier of YouTube. YouTube will not be that platform. It will be better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. Ron's Trains and Things. Welcome, Ron. I know anybody who have seen Ron's video on his live stream on this copper thing, I think it was made a lot of sense. It had a lot of common sense in it. There were two extremes. One was the sky is falling and I'm bailing on YouTube and I'm deleting my channel. And the other side of it was put my head in the sand and pretend it's not here. But I think Ron's take on it was, again, wait and see what happens and we'll go from there. Ron, no analytics has ever been kept or reported for under 13 because YouTube claimed they were not for that age. You're absolutely correct.
Stunhanger.
Let's see as I go down. But guys, it's always Crooked River. Oh, okay. I'll have to check into that. Thank you, Bill. You're quite welcome. But guys, it's always a good idea to spread out. That's why we are on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, as well as our own site. Also, we aren't hitching ourselves to any tech company. I think I heard this speech before. Okay. I speak for English, Southern, and profane.
Yeah, he said he speaks three: English, Southern, and profane.
Oh, I do too. I speak Brooklynese, and that's one. And occasionally, I know Spanish if I have to get out of a tight situation. Situation like that. Eric is new to 6 million. Eric is the new $6 million man. Ron Bryce. Hey, Ron, how are you, buddy? Long time no see. We just have to wait and see what happens, I guess. Dale PRR guy based Southern works for me. Ron, I don't think we have to wait and see what happens. I don't think that we're in a position. I think Ron's Trains and Things, Ron, and I think that our take on it and Andrew's take and John's take on it, we had a core meeting about it. It's you have to wait and see, but we're going into it with eyes wide open, and we're looking at it, and saying, hey, this is what we're going to do, and I for whatever reason it is, whatever YouTube's reason is, that's their reason, and I think it has to do a lot with political background. A lot of people out there are turning to YouTube for their news, whatever they so-called fake news, whatever you want to say. I'm not going to, open the floodgates to that, but a lot of people are turning to YouTube and other forms of social media to get their news. And I think it's biting into the big companies, CBS, NBC, whatever, who's ever out there. And I think they're trying to make this statement and shut people down. Unfortunately, I think it's a purge, and they're trying to purge everybody out, and then when the dust settles, they'll reorganize and with new reasons. I think December 10th, they're coming out with a new customer service agreement that's going to be out. So, basically we're going to have to wait and see, but this time we're not going to wait and see with our heads in the sand. We're going to wait, openly and honestly. And we, as people, we have power. You guys that are in Australia, England, that are going to watch, you have power. You can write to our senators. You can write to our congressmen. I've already written to, Representative Rose, who takes care of my district, and to Senator Schumer. I sent out a letter to them, basically stating, hey, I'm a content provider. This is what I do. This is how I do it. And, you guys got to look at it. Did I say repeal the law? No, I think the law is a good law. I think the copper law is good. Kids should be protected, 13 under. We shouldn't be. I'm not minding for their stuff. They know that. The common sense tells you that. But again, when anybody says to you, we're from the government, we're here to help, you get a little nervous, you know.
No,
Andrew,
very nice.
Andrew Crawford says, yes, I appreciate Ron's very rational review of COPPA. He nailed it specifically for one thing. We just aren't being provided all the details or inside discussion. Ron's trains and things. The latest info I heard from the FTC and lawyers leads me to believe that we will all be fine. I agree with Ron. Dwight Gooden says, my dad told me never to say anything you should not say in front of the kids. Absolutely correct. Absolutely. See you guys. Time to hang out with the wife person. Watch you on the tape cassette. You got it. Be well, Eric. Ron's trains and things. YouTube isn't going to do anything, and the FT has stated that general audience content is not in their crosshairs. Again, you know, once the dust settled and everything is going to work itself out, like water finds its own level. And it's kind of, you know, it caused a big uproar. Everybody got shook, got woke up, said, hey, you know, let's talk. Andy Crawford says, yes, I think this will blow over. There is a legitimate issue behind the scenes, but they're just not a way to solve this currently. Too much data across the whole. Right on the Copper comment site and sign the YouTube petition for clarity. Yes. I've done that, and you guys should too, you know. And the funny thing is, I wrote an email, not an email, but I got on the FTC site and I wrote an email, and they responded to my email, which I thought was strange. In 24 hours, I received an email back. Whether it was computer generated, I don't know, but it was that my concerns and were taken into consideration, and that they'll be looking into this more. So, you know, they're aware of it too. Let's see. Just got off control like the internet. Andrew Gaston says, just got off control like the internet. They wish they had control like in China. Total censor and control of content. Yeah. Mark Turner says that is absolutely correct. The cable news channels are doing everything they can to get rid of the political news channels on YouTube. The issue is that YouTube failed where they placed ads. You're absolutely correct, and they flagrantly mirrored what Dave BNSF and Scale, and they flagrantly flaunted it until the child advocacy groups came and caught them, and they dropped $1.7 million as a fine and negotiated for a $14 billion company. But anyway, that's where Model Railroading Live stands with this. We'll be here providing content, providing entertainment, providing new stuff and other stuff. Ron's Trains and Things says, my biggest concern was the ambiguity of the language for kids directed, appealing to kids, can be nearly anything. Yes, that was the other concern that we had too, Ron. And one of the words was toys, like I said earlier. To some guy sitting behind a desk in DC, this is a toy. But the people who work in the hobby, who do the hobby, know that this is not a toy. The biggest thing I was hearing was, well, the box says 13, 14 and over. Doesn't matter what the box says. If somebody thinks it's a toy and they're in a position of power, they're going to tell you. No, I'm going to argue. So, but, you know, even the model railroading companies, Walters, stuff like that, and they know but they don't have a thing in your phone. I just bought a model. I just bought a kit from them, a building kit. I didn't have to sign a disclosure saying that I'm over 15 years old. So it's pretty. Jonathan Kagis, greetings from Japan, and of Cato Trains. Jonathan, how are you, sir? Are you a first-time viewer?
Yeah, I believe so. That's not a familiar name to me.
New name?
Yeah, I think so.
Jonathan, welcome to Model Railroading Live. Who's Big Bill talking to? Let me recap for you. Andrew is on a roll here. Andrew Crawford, yes, indeed, Dave. The problem is that they must fund this stuff. It costs a lot of money to buy rooms of service. it's hard balance to strike. I think it would be best if we paid for these services instead of us being products sold to advertisers. But people are cheap and won't pay. I pay for my YouTube subscription as I don't want the ads, and there's no motivation to track me. Okay. Dave from BNSF N-Scale says to Jonathan, welcome from Arizona, USA. And Jonathan, welcome again to Model Railroading Live. Tonight is Who's Big Bill Talking To? I would be Big Bill, and the gentleman on the screen is John. He is our producer, director extraordinaire, and Andrew Crawford, who you see on here, is our IT whiz kid who knows all, sees all, and hears all. So he knows. Usually recap, Jonathan, if you're still out there from Japan. What time is it in Japan now, Jonathan? If you can shoot us a little Q&A. Jonathan, when the FTC chair says fines will be handed out as it will be like shooting fish in the barrel, the contact rate, that worries me greatly. Yes, you're absolutely, it's 11 a.m. Hey, it's good morning. It's almost lunchtime in Japan. You, John. Yeah, you're right, Jonathan. He did say that. But then as the dust settles and the controversy has weaned its way out, and now, if you'll notice on YouTube, if you go, we're on to the next controversy in YouTube community now. So this has passed because the answers are freely flowing and people are getting some answers. So we're not too worried about it. I don't think they're going to go after guys like us. They might. I'm not saying they won't. Never say never, but I don't think that's the general outlook. You know, as Dave said, as Ron said from Ron's Strings and Things, they're going to, for general content. We do general content, and we're not children orientated. We don't have colorful balloons and.
Yeah, but we'll still run our disclaimer just to play it safe.
Yes. Andrew Gilmore says, is it me or is Bill overdriving the mic? I'm most likely overdriving the mic because I have that personality where I am I'm New Yorker, so I'm just like up in your face kind of thing going on here. And if it's overdriving, what can I tell you?
Well, let's see if this will help if I can turn down the overdrive.
Ron Strings and Things says the fish in the barrel comment from the gentleman from the FTC was referring to channels that are targeting kids and making millions doing it. And that's exactly what was explained afterwards. So I think we're all right. But John, just to get back, this is Model Railroading Live. I don't know if you're familiar with us, but we do this content on this free of charge. We don't charge anything for it. We give it away. We have Johnny's Train Talk show on Thursday night, which will be tomorrow night on the 5th. And that you can join in, even from Japan.
Yep.
That's John. That guy, either there or over there, is John.
That's me.
Train Talk show, and it's a live show. It starts at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the United States, and Midwest Model Railroader Stephen Atwell is with us. There you go. Okay, good. Steve Atwell was here today in my house. I did not do a video. The reason why I did not do a video is because we're doing this secretive thing here. And Steve, you signed a non-disclosure form before you left. So I could sue you for $1 million. Anyway, Steve was over here today helping me to lay out some track. That's as much as I'm going to say, because I don't want to spoil it, because we're doing it for an upcoming thing. So this is what we're doing. But I have to tell you how much Steve Atwell helped me today. He really did. He came over and he hung out, and we had great talk and just a great time together. And Steve Atwell is the owner of Midwest Model Railroad Hobby Shop. You can look them up at midwestmodelrailroad.com. You can check others websites and other model hobby shops, and he's got the best prices. He really truly does. And So go check out Midwest Modern Railroad and Hobby Shop. He's really he's got a store in Kansas, and his father and him own it. Go do it. Go check it out. Go check it out. And Steve, once again, I have to tell you, thank you very, very much for you coming over here and helping with this endeavor. And I'm going to make it once we start airing the series on what we've done here. It was South Brooklyn Railroad on the show. I'm definitely going to mention you again. You were pivotal in this part. So, thank you very much. For me, I'm greatly appreciated what you did here today. Let's see.
Gee, I thought Ron was Missouri. He's saying no. Huh? I'll be darned.
What happened? Missouri. What do I don't. I get lost when I walk around the block.
Jonathan was saying. Let me scroll back up here just for a second. Yeah, Jonathan. He said he's new. He found us on Twitch. Hey, that's good. Originally from the home of Hiawatha, his dad is huge in the hobby, and grew up in it. Train Fest in Milwaukee each year.
That's all. Joe G says that's awesome. Joe G's in the house. Joe, how are you, Joe? I haven't heard from you in a while nor seen you. And Andrew Crawford says, yes, we do this totally free, but we go for some donations in the form of exotic sports cars, private jets for the crew, LOL. Oh, yes, that's exactly right. We do. Trons and things. Missouri, not Kansas. I apologize, Ron. I did. Jonathan says, I'm looking at interest in getting started, but my electrical skills are lacking. Ha, ha, ha. Well, welcome to the club, Jonathan. Not an expert modeler. There are things that we excel in and things that we don't excel in. But nothing ventured, nothing gained.
And actually, we have a nightly chat too. So, Jonathan, if you're a little confused or whatever, join us on whereby.com/Mile Railroading Live, all one word. Usually we start in about, there's people coming in around about 9 o'clock Eastern time. Be about 11 o'clock your time or 10 o'clock. So feel free to jump in and ask questions. We'll be glad to try and help you out on anything electrical, computer, track lane.
Yeah, and Johnny's Train Talk show that I was talking about that goes on tomorrow night. On December 5th, what do you call it? It has a live thing. You can jump in like we're here now. You can jump in if you have a webcam and on your computer. You can jump in, and if you have questions or you want to, ask about how it should start. If there's 5 people, you'll get at least 7 different opinions. So, join in tomorrow on Johnny's Train Talk show. Ron's Trains and Things is saying, shaking my head. Sorry, Ron. Andrew Gaston says, easy to learn the electrical part. Andrew Gilmore says, I get lost when I walk in my house. And I hear you, brother. Ron's Trains and Things saying, that's like Big Bill is in New Jersey. Never say that, brother. Never say that. I can see the bridge. I can see the Goethals Bridge to New Jersey, but I'm not from Jersey. And I understand what he's saying, and I'm sorry. I messed up. Don't worry, Jonathan. Andrew Crawford says the electrical is much easier with DCC, and come join us on the nightly chats. There's often people around and help, and happy to help. Hey, you are Naked 4. Hello, just got in. Hello, you are Naked 4. How are you today? Oh, Ron Trains Thing says, now you understand. LOL, laughing out loud. Yes, I do understand. And I apologize. But anything west of Newark, New Jersey, I'm lost. When I go out of the city and I travel, and I don't travel extensively, but when I go out and people greet me and say hello, I always think they're looking for a handout. And I've come to find out they're just saying hello and being nice. So that's the cynical New Yorker. But Jonathan, yeah, please come by. We'd love to have you join us, and you'll meet a lot of good guys out here. Ron's Trains and Things. Go check out Ron's Trains and Things. He does an N scale, and he has tutorials, and he has great, a great channel. So go check him out. Ron's Trains and Things. He's an N scaler, but he has tutorials on builds, on electrical, on things that you wouldn't think would be necessary, like your soldering iron, how to take care of a soldering iron, how to buy a soldering iron, which I gleaned from him, and I thought it was pretty good. So absolutely, go check his channel out. Ron's Trains and Things. Go check out, who else do we? Historical Railroad. Don G, he's out there. Joe G, he left New Jersey for a reason. I hear that. But Joe G, what's the name of your channel, Joe? And then we have John 268. Good evening, Bill. Chat. Hey, how are you, John? You could go check John's channel out. It's John's 2618. He has a small layout, a small 8-foot thing, and it's starting. He lives in Florida. But go check out Jonathan. Go check out John's 2618. And Joe G, go check. He's building an HO layout. Jonathan says, but my dad's big goal, and I can't agree with more, is getting kids into model railroad, and that is fun. So it sounds like you guys have a similar philosophy, helping out newbies. Ha, yes. Definitely. Grandpa Rails, how many here are going to Strasbourg next May 16th? To the meet and greet. Show of hands if you're going to the Strasbourg meet and greet. I just said show of hands. I don't know and stuff. Dave BNS, I missed the last 2 Trade Fest shows. Moved to Texas and stuff. Ron's Trains and Things. Nope, he says he's not. So that's one less person not going. But Jonathan, I would suggest you go check these guys out. Ron's Trains and Things, Joe G, Grandpa's Rails, Grandpa Rail. What's your YouTube channel name? So that Jonathan, who's from Japan, will check you guys out. Ron Price says it's too far for me to swim. Thank you, Ron. I needed to hear that. That was very good. Let's see. Grandpa Rails is saying hello to everybody. But Jonathan, definitely go pick that. And that, I meant to do this a couple of times. Don G, he was on the show, Nearly Historical Railroad. He's got this dual gauge railroad. He's got narrow gauge and he's got a standard gauge railroad in his house. He was in Reno, Nevada. And I would suggest that you guys go out there on YouTube and check out Nearly Historical Railroads. He makes some really fun videos, and he's got this tremendous layout out there. And he only has 260 some odd subscribers. So absolutely, go check this guy out. It's him, his dad, Scott, John. They all come together and they do this 2 narrow gauge and this standard, and they're working on it, and it's interesting and it's fun. Check them out. And like I said, I'm plugging all you guys. Joe G says, click the 3 dots next to the person's name and it will take you to their channel. Very good idea. I wish I would have thought of that. But that's why we have the community, these guys. Let's see. Hell no, Andy. Them steel birds do fall too. You're absolutely right. Grandpa Rails High, the Crooked River. He's saying hello to everybody. Let me do it for you, John. John Dilly, a.k.a. Grandpa Rails. Hello. Everybody out there, to all you guys on the Q&A. He says hello. Yes, thanks, Ron. I swear I typed that correctly. Maybe autocorrect, or maybe my maroon is acting up tonight. Jonathan, did you grow up in Wisconsin? Dave BNSFN scale wants to know. He goes, yes, I did. Me too, Ron, Andy Crawford. That's a big commitment for me in 2020, taking most of the week. Ron, I may see you in St. Louis, watching from a hotel restaurant. John 2618. He's watching from a hotel restaurant. LOL. He's probably working. Well, safe out there, John. Dave BNSF scale says he's a Milwaukee boy himself.
Well, if you run forward naked is still in the chat.
Yes.
If you would. Oh, shoot. Hang on.
It almost slipped there, and it really would make it an adult content.
All right. You run forward naked if you would. There's my email address. If you would, email me so we can get together. I'd just like to talk a few things over with you and ask you a couple of questions. I'd appreciate it.
Okay. For those that wanted to know, Grandpa Rails mentioned earlier in this Q&A about down to Strasburg, Lancaster. For all that you know, Sparky 107 is holding. Last year he held a meet and greet down in Steamtown, where he had gathered about 90 guys who were on YouTube channels who were trained model railroaders, and they gathered in Steamtown, and they got together and they saw a tour of Steamtown, and then later on they had a dinner in a dining car, and they all got together and basically got, we see each other on the videos, but they got to see each other up close and personal and exchange ideas and telephone numbers and apparently email addresses. And Matt Austinberry, hey Big Bill, how are you? I woke up this morning, Matt, so that's half the battle right there. So I'm good, man. My feet touch the floor and life is good. John 228 says he flew into Lancaster today.
Yeah. Let me so we got Twitch going too, and I do have two up here. One of them tonight I just kind of off a little bit, so I apologize. I hadn't watched the Twitch chat too close, but Jonathan was up here in Twitch. That's where he found us. But Farm Mechanic 71, you guys will still broadcast on Twitch if YouTube takes a dive. Yes, we will. We're not going away there. Many YouTubers left YouTube and are on Twitch or YouNow. Yeah, we're going to stay on YouTube for a while, see how things go. But yes, we are continuing to do our simultaneous broadcast on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. Right now, the only accounts I can see are YouTube and Twitch. And Andy's kind of watching the Facebook for us.
Jack, long time no see. Myself, my brother, I haven't put a video out in quite a number of months, and I do apologize for that, Jack. But hello to you, my friend. But basically getting back to that meet and greet that was in Steamtown, it was very successful, and Sparky has decided that he'll do another meet and greet in May at in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, at the Pennsylvania Railroad, located in Strasburg, and that's Lancaster County. That's the Amish country down there, and there's a lot to see down there other than the Strasburg. Other than the train museum. The train museum is great. I've been to Strasburg many a time. I've ridden on the train that goes from Strasburg to Paradise, Pennsylvania, and stuff. And it's a steam engine, and you actually get to see it, feel it, look at it, smell it as steam is chugging out of it, and it's very good. And right next to the Pennsylvania Train Museum is the Choo Choo Barn, which is a model railroading shop. So you can go check that. And plus, it's in Lancaster County. There are plenty of things to do in Lancaster County, especially with the food. There is a plenty of place to eat. There's Uh,
You
Great
run
man.
naked. I got it.
what's that?
I was just letting you run naked. No, I saw his
okay.
comment. He sent me an email.
So you got Miller's, you got Good and Plenty's restaurants, family style eating, very good. You got other, uh, home style restaurants that are down there. You got the tours of the Amish farms. They have the Sight and Sound theater down there. If you're interested, and you're going in May 16th, if you want to catch a show, I would encourage you to do something like that. The Sight and Sound is a big multi-theater thing, live performances with live animals involved in whatever they're doing. They put on a fantastic show. It's a Christian-based theme show. So right now they're doing a thing on Jesus. The year before they did a thing on Noah. And they did a thing on Jonah and the whale and stuff. So it's really entertaining. If you know you're going there and you want to go see it, get your tickets and go there. Plus, Sparky 107 is hosting this, and he's hoping to get the museum open after hours for you guys to go and see it. So if you're in the area and you want to come, check out Sparky 107's live show and ask him. Ron, Stranger Things said Sight and Sound is amazing. Been to the one in Branson. It's fantastic. It's an absolutely beautiful theater. And we saw Samson there. And it was great. It was great. Theatrical wise and story wise, and they're pretty entertaining. So again, there's much to do in Lancaster County and in Strasburg. So if you're interested and you want to do that, please head on down to Sparky 107 on his live show, and he'll definitely fill you in on that. So, you're welcome, John. You're welcome. Dave BNSF N-Scale says, Japan is a bucket list item for me. So we're coming up on an hour, and just to recap for you guys out there, we originally were supposed to have the astronaut from the space station, John?
Yeah.
He was going to do a DCC on an N scale in negative gravity, zero gravity, and he was going to do a DCC board implant, on a DCC engine up in zero gravity in space. But NASA got in touch with John earlier and said that the space station would be around the other side of the Earth, and we wouldn't be able to get a signal to them. That unfortunately, I would have loved to see the zero gravity of him trying to put a DCC board into a N-scale engine and watch the engine float around in space, stuff like that. But that didn't happen. But no, that's not what we know a lot of people. John, you would say we know a lot of important people in low places, right?
Yeah. We do that.
Yeah, we do hang out at the Bell Bondsman and.
I mean, we do know Ron's trains and things, so
Yeah. So.
Oh, he's going to shoot me.
But anyway, we were originally supposed to have Mike Dettinger and Barry Roget, our good friends. They are now doing the Amherst clinics Thursday and Friday prior to the show up in Amherst, which is July 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, I'm not too sure. They hold the clinic up there, and let me see if I can get those dates for you. So doing so far so good with January 24th, 25th, and 26th up in Amherst with Barry and Mike Dudley. They've taken over from Miles and Fran Hale of the clinics on Thursday and Friday. They're the precursor to the show. And what you do is, if you're not familiar with it, is what you do is it's $100. You check in early to the hotel on Thursday or Wednesday evening, most likely Wednesday evening, and you can do the clinic, the 2-day clinic. And the clinic costs $100. But don't faint and don't go, that's a lot of money. Here's what you get for your 100. You get all day Thursday from 8 a.m. until about 5 o'clock. You get a full lineup of clinics and how-tos and tutorials and hands-on stuff Thursday and Friday. And in that $100, you also get a breakfast and you get a lunch both days. And you also get a ticket to entrance to the Amherst show. So for $100, you get breakfast and lunch, dinner's on your own, which there's plenty of restaurants around, and there's a restaurant in the hotel itself. And so there's plenty to do there. And then you get the ticket to go in the show, and they have a free bus shuttle service from the hotel to the Amherst. So you can leave your car parked in the garage and you can go to the show. And I think it's worth, for $100, it's very much, it's got the bang for the dollar there. So you got that. So they were supposed to be on the show tonight and hawking what they're going to do in the upcoming clinic and stuff like that. And yeah, so we're going to have them on the, I think after the 11th, the 18th, I'm still in touch with them, and they're doing job-wise things that they have to take care of. So that's the reason why they're not. December 11th is going to be Joe Desmond into the train shop with him. Joe is expecting a baby, his wife and himself, a newborn. And so this far most likely will be his last show until early or mid-January. So he's going to be on next week. And then tomorrow night, we have Johnny's Train Talk Show, which you guys can participate in and be a part of. If you have a webcam, good internet, you can join in. There's a link that will put you right in. If you have a question, have a problem with anything that's going on in your model railroad, or you want to show it off that you did something and you want to show it off to the rest of us and how you did it and what was the secrets behind it, by all means, please join us. Mosey on down to John's Country Store there, pull up a chair, get yourself a hot cup of coffee and sit down and, chew the fat with the boys, because that's what they're there for, and they're more than happy to help you with the stuff and what's going on. So that's where we are right now. In the next in January, we hope to be kicking off season 2 into 2019 to 2020, and with some new shows and some new stuff. So with that said, that's all I got. John?
Yeah, you catching me with my fingers in the cookie jar.
Oh.
Thank you. No, that very well covers it.
Right. So basically, just want to thank all of you guys. First and foremost, we here at Model Railroading Live want to really truly thank you, the community out there, for being a part of this and for being a part of the shows that we produce, the content that we produce. And just so, because without you, as I say on every broadcast that we do, if you weren't watching, we'd be talking to dead air, and that's not fun. So we like your feedback, we like your input, and we like you being a part of Model Railroading Live, because it's fun. We're having a good time. I know you guys are having a good time. And we thank you for being loyal supporters, loyal watchers, and tell us somebody who doesn't know us to come and join and have a good time. We got Jonathan, he saw us on Twitch, and stuff like that. John, Billy, Grandpa Rails, you take care. Go check out Grandpa Rails' new channel. His channel, he changed his name. Go check out his YouTube channel. And, we're all here to help each other. So it's 10:04 p.m. My throat is getting, even though I'm a New Yorker and I talk a lot and I talk fast, so please forgive me if I talk too fast and tell me to slow down. But anyway, thank you guys for being in here. Thank you guys for being participants. John, I want to thank you very much for all that you do. John and Andy, all that you do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Without you guys behind the scenes, I'm just a talking head here. You make me look really good because you guys put the content together. You make sure the IT's working and everything is everything. And I'm greatly appreciative of you guys. And the check's in the mail. Don't laugh. Thank you. So with that said, You guys take care. Definitely God bless you all. Be safe out there. We'll see you guys on the radio.